Hello there, and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Gainy Titan, and a particularly warm welcome to all the new subscribers that have happened over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, thereabouts. Those of you who have subscribed because of recent events you would see on the forums, either from the thread, the forum YouTuber thread, or just seen my Pools Metal game. Thank you for coming and thank you for joining, particularly those people who have joined because they've seen my Pools Metal game. I would point out that game was the first Pools Metal game I've had in 5 years, and no reason to believe that the next one will arrive any sooner. I'm not a Unicum tanker by any means, and I wouldn't want anyone to think that they were joining a channel of a Unicum player, or they're going to see regular Unicum style games. Now that Hellcat is paying the price for driving out all the way across the other side of the lake for no good reason other than he could, but he has kind of ruined our deployment. By virtue of coming out there, he has just, all our tanks just stopped to take a shot at him, and since he's still spotted cowering behind a rock with whatever 50 odd hit points that he's got left, everybody's sitting here waiting for him to peek out because he's a one-shot kill. However, the 518 points that I got is one of the reasons I really like the Waffentrager, or the Rheinmetal Borsig Waffentrager. This tier 8 German tank destroyer. It's got a very good gun. It's not very fast. It doesn't have any armour. I think that kind of shield, that windshield around the gun is just like 10mm or something like that. But the gun is very good and it's quite stealthy, so you can hide. View range isn't great, but you don't need view range. Other people will spot for you. There are people out there that play this tank aggressively, but I'm not one of them. I certainly wouldn't attempt to do it. It wouldn't be my style at all, or it wouldn't be beyond my capabilities, shall we say, to play this tank aggressively. Though it can, I suppose, if you have plenty of tanks around you and you let the enemy shoot before you pop out, you're good at that sort of thing. I tend to prefer to operate in stealth, keep the tank hidden, keep it under cover, let other people do the spotting, and just sit back and use this very good gun. We've already gotten our hit points worth of damage with 3 penetrating shots. So it's kind of hard to do badly in this tank. Most people will get 3 penetrating shots before they die. I don't know how long the game's been doing this, but it's only recently that I sort of noticed that it seems to add up all the damage. If it's simultaneous damage, it just comes up as one ribbon, or one damage number, rather than the individual damages done by different guns. Because that Nashorn has 600 hit points when you hit it. I did 465 damage to it, and somebody else must have done the remainder, and it must have been done more or less simultaneously. It comes up as one number, and the Nashorn's dead. I don't get the credit for the kill, so the other person's shot must have been slightly later than mine. However, this is, like I said, the thing that I really like about this tank. You can sit here. Once you have dominant line of sights and you have tanks out there that are doing a bit of scouting for you and spotting the enemies, like that ISU 152 has been punished pretty heavily now. That at least 2 tanks have hit it and it's gone out of the fight. And we have done double our hit points worth of damage, and that ISM has just decided to give up and get it over with. He's just advancing into the open ground and he's about to get destroyed for that as well. One more shot should do it if I get the shot in. And we do, we get the credit for the kill, so we get one more shot in. We didn't do a whole lot of damage. There is another Borsig Waffentrager, and he is taken out before I get the shot off. So there's only 2 of them remaining, and it's time to push out. You can afford to be more aggressive, alright, in the late game. You don't have much speed, so you probably have to time it right. I've probably left it too late actually in this game to be of any further effect. That I should have pushed out a bit earlier, but the enemy just melted away so fast that it didn't really occur to me until it was too late really to make any much difference to my score, to my impact on the game. Although the score is pretty satisfactory. The thing is that you can generally afford to trade shots in the late game because you're generally trading at an advantage. You're doing an average of 450 there, roughly points of damage, reliably with every shot. Whereas most of your enemies won't be doing that kind of damage. They'll be doing less than 400, 250, 390. Well, it depends, of course, whether you're top or bottom tier. If you're top tier, which you are in this game, the advantage will be on your side. If obviously you're bottom tier and you're up against tier 9s, well, then a lot depends on what you're up against. Like if you're up against mediums or heavy tanks, you're actually probably still going to trade at an advantage. There is exceptions with tanks that have very big guns, E100s with 150mm guns or mouse or stuff like that. But if you're trading against tank destroyers, top tier tank destroyers, you won't be trading at advantage. They'll actually be doing significantly more damage to you. I mean, something like a Death Star is almost guaranteed one-shot kill because if you're an open tank with no armor, the Hesh rounds will penetrate. No questions asked. The other thing to watch out for in the late game is to stay away from light and medium tanks. You are completely at the mercy of light and medium tanks if they get anywhere close to you, because they're going to beat your turret rotation, they're going to beat your traverse, they're going to beat both together, and they'll also beat your reloads. So if you hit them, you'll do a fair bit of damage, but the chances are that they'll just run rings around you. You will never land a shot on them, and you'll be dead before you know what's happened. Now, I initially crossed the lake because I thought the sensible thing for these two guys to do would have been to run like hell down the zero line as fast as they could before anyone got across the ridge line and make it around into our base area. The thing is, if you want to maximise your damage at the end of the game, particularly since both, I'm not sure about the UD is, but the SU-101 is a reasonably fast tank. I think the UD is as well. And both of them should have just legged it down here, put a distance between themselves and the incoming horde. And while everyone was up here around this corner clustering, they could have gone down to the our cap circle and killed the remaining tank destroyer down there. And furthermore, they could have then set up on the ridgeline and knocked damage off of us as we climbed all the way back over to that end of the map to try and get shots onto them. Standing your ground is not the way to maximise your damage if you have the choice. If you're in a fast tank, you're better off moving. And slow tanks, yes, sometimes you have no choice but to stand your ground. The SU-101 has further compounded his error by going up here and then coming down again. Okay, he's going to escape me. But he'd be better off, he just actually went over the hill onto the lakeside and again taken on the tank destroyer 101 on the other side before I got a chance to intervene. As I was saying about standing your ground, if you stand your ground against multiple incoming tanks, you're taking on multiple tanks simultaneously and you're receiving 2 or 3 shots to every one you're outputting, so you just won't get the chance to do the damage. Whereas if you have a fast stealthy tank, you make the distance, you'll fire shots while you're still stealthy before anyone spotted you, and you can then run and do it again, and do it as often as you can until you finally run out of ground, or you've killed all the enemies. That sometimes happens. That's how Karellia's medals are won. So anyway, we finish up with a 2nd class mastery, become number 2 by experience. We do nearly 4k damage, 4k I suppose if you include the spotting damage. I also managed to get my first mark of excellence on this tank, so I'm quite happy with that result. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Feel free to share and comment. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.